Let me start off by saying this. This movie is 2 hours and 45 minutes long. You're telling me that a Transformers movie is as long as The Dark Knight Rises? Please don't tell me there's some useless bullshit in this movie. Transformers Age of Extinction. So Transformers Age of Extinction is the 4th installment in this Michael Bay blockbuster franchise, the Transformers series. Let me tell you something, guys. I'm a big, humongous Transformers fan. For those of you who don't know, I grew up with the 80s cartoon series. I remember collecting all the toys. I loved Transformers ever since I was a kid. And like these Michael Bay movies, he's never really given us a true Transformers movie. The first Transformers movie, while it's not like what I want a Transformers movie to be, in my opinion, it's actually a good movie. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's problems within the film, but I'm like, you know what? It's enjoyable. And as a Transformers fan, I can find enjoyment out of it. And that's why I like the first one more better than the next two, because Revenge of the Fallen is a piece of shit. It really is. Dark of the Moon. I rewatched all 3 movies. Dark of the Moon and Revenge of the Fallen are pieces of shit. Well, with Michael Bay, you know what you're gonna get. Explosions, hot girls, and explosions, let me remind you, that look like fireworks, okay? Long, and also the movies are gonna be over long. It had Mark Wahlberg in it. Mark Wahlberg is one of my favorite actors, so I was like, you know what? Hopefully he could save this movie. So I went into this movie, I was like, okay, be open-minded. This movie could suck ass. It could be Revenge of the Fallen all over again, or hell, even worse than that. Or it could be just as good as the first one. Hell, maybe even better. So let's go into this and let's see what we get. Now I'm going to tell you guys right now, Transformers Age of Extinction surprised me. But right now on Rotten Tomatoes, the critic score right now, any day you watch this video is probably going to be different. But right now it has an 18%. That is lower than Revenge of the Fallen. Now, I don't think this movie is as bad as Revenge of the Fallen. It's an improvement over the last 2 films. But before I say why I was surprised with this, let me just say the things that still aren't good or aren't fixed in this film. First off, the humor, Michael Bay's humor, is still in here. It's still in there. But it's a bit toned down. It's not as much as the previous films. This film does take itself a little bit more seriously. It's a little bit more serious than the previous films. And the humor's still there, but it doesn't get to a point where I'm like, I want to kill myself like the previous films. Also, it's Bayham, this movie. This man right here, Michael Bay, this motherfucker right here, this is his movie. You can tell. I mean, first off, the color schemes in this movie, it's like any other Michael Bay movie. There are tons of slow motion scenes in this movie. There's a lot of explosion in this movie. This character, T.J. Miller, who's a funny guy. I actually like T.J. Miller. For those of you who don't know him, he's actually a comedian. But he's annoying as hell in this movie. Him and Stanley Tucci. Stanley Tucci's a great actor. He's pretty kind of annoying in this movie. Like, there's like parts where he's just like, alright, I get it. Just shut the fuck up. But let's get into some of the good stuff of Transformers Age of Extinction. First off, Marky Mark, Mark Wahlberg. He's better than Shia LaBeouf. Like, Shia LaBeouf, this motherfucker, every time he was like, explosions were happening, he was like, oh god, and he kept screaming like a little girl. Here, Mark Wahlberg, this motherfucker's a badass. He's actually an action hero in this movie. He actually gets to throw down with some robots. He gets to kick ass. There's a fight scene between him and this other guy. I was like, oh, alright, this was well done. He's the action lead. You know what I mean? It's like a guy you can step behind. You're like, alright, I'm rooting for this guy. This guy's a badass. And also another thing, his daughter, the girl from The Last Airbender, I want to say this. Not a lot of people are going to agree with me on this, but just for me, she wasn't annoying as the girl from the 3rd one, and as annoying as Megan Fox. She actually does some shit that actually helps with the film's story. Like, she actually helps Mark Wahlberg. But there's like towards the beginning I was like, okay, let's see where her character's going. And like, there's some points where you're like, you're kind of annoyed by her, but you're really not annoyed by her as much as I thought I was going to be. You know, like a lot of you probably be thinking like, oh, she's probably annoying as hell. Not really. I mean, there's like a couple of parts where you're just like, she's kind of getting on my nerves just a bit, but not as much as the previous women. And the action scenes are really, really well done. Michael Bay actually gives these wide-angled shots of the action scenes, and they're really well done. Visual effects, as always in all 3 films, is fantastic. And finally, he's done it. Michael Bay's done it. He finally gave personalities to the Transformers. Like each of the Autobots, the new Autobots in this movie, you actually care for them. Finally, you could tell them apart. It's like, oh, what makes Bumblebee Bumblebee is because of this, and what makes this Autobot this. He actually gave them fucking personalities. Finally. Because, like, you really think about it, in all three Transformers films before Age of Extinction, who are the Autobots you remember the most? Bumblebee and Optimus. Who else? No one. But in this movie, Michael Bay finally gives personalities to each one of the Autobots. I mean, there's a Samurai Autobot. I'm like, I like that. He's voiced by Ken Watanabe. That's fucking awesome. And this Autobot named Hound, he's voiced by John Goodman. That's awesome. And also, I gotta touch on the Dinobots. The Dinobots are in this movie. I'm disappointed by them. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Grimlock, look at him. That motherfucker is a badass. Optimus, him right now on it. That these action scenes that the Dinobots are in are phenomenal. I almost wanted to cry in the theater. I was like, I watched the cartoon series, seeing them fight the Dinobots and the Autobots together, and I was seeing it on screen. It's so beautiful. They're only in the movie for about 20 minutes, and it's towards the end of the film. And here's why I'm disappointed by that, because not really any of them talk. They're just there, you know. They're ancient robots. They're not neither Decepticons or Autobots. They're just like old ancient Transformers. And like, each of them has their own unique personality to them, but they don't talk. And it's pretty much like Spider-Man 3, where they threw in Venom there, just for the sake of saying Venom was in there. I feel the same way for the Dinobots in this movie. When you think about it, you're like, okay, it makes sense that they went for the Dinobots, but really, they weren't necessarily needed. And here's another thing that Transformers Age of Extinction gets right. There are more Transformer scenes in the movie. Like, there's like human scenes in it, but man, there's a lot more Transformer scenes in it. This is the most we've seen of any Transformers. In the movies of the Transformers, this is the most that we've seen of the Autobots and the Decepticons. A lot of them interacting. So in conclusion, I'm going to give Transformers Age of Extinction a B-. I'm not sure if I'm ready to say it's better than the first one. Here's what I'm going to say to everyone. Just go to this movie for like a fun action film. Don't go in it for the story. Just have fun with it, and you'll have fun with it. I had a fun time with Transformers Age of Extinction. This movie is not going to be for everyone. There's going to be a lot of people who hate this movie. But for me, I was surprised by it because I thought it was going to be a piece of crap. In some points, it was. I think you guys should just go into it and just have a fun time with it. So that's my review for Transformers Age of Extinction, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video, and have a nice day.